Chair now recognizes Representative Biggs.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mrs. Lake, thank you. I appreciate your testimony. It's become clear that one of our most urgent concerns is how our own taxpayer-funded outlets like USAGM, VOA, OCB, and their grantees appear to be churning out, spreading content that doesn't just look down on America, but actively works against our national security and vital interest. This is a betrayal, and if it's happening, it's not just problematic, but it's a deep-rooted corruption that needs to be exposed and rooted out. In light of this, I have just a few questions. Are you aware of any instances where VOA or its grantees have misled their audience or provided false information?
There are a lot of cases where that has happened. I mean, if you just look at the political bias, I would say that you're misleading. I'm gonna throw one case out because people will remember this video, and it was of Robert De Niro, the actor who has really seemed to go off the deep end lately, putting out a rant against the president. And he called him all kinds of things, a dog and awful things, said he wanted to punch him in the face. That video was played on VOA Ukraine for the audiences in Ukraine to see, to make them believe that that was the sentiment of the American people. When Joe Biden literally failed and practically fell on his face in the debate, when all of a sudden the Democrats realized, okay, we got a problem here and we're gonna have to acknowledge that Joe Biden has serious cognitive problems, VOA wouldn't even report that. They made it sound like his debate was fine. Only days later did they come in and try to make up ground. You can talk about the October 7th terrorist attack in Israel, refusing to call that a terrorist attack, refusing to call the terrorist who inflicted that kind of carnage on Israel terrorist. I could go on and on, but you look at the waste that they have perpetuated against the American people, the $850,000 spent on a New York concert. Why are we spending money that's meant for putting our American message out on a concert in New York? Why are we doing that? When I first got in, one of the first things that came across my email was a complaint that we had a cross-dressing man reporting in VOA to the Pakistan audience. Why are we putting a cross-dressing man on the air to tell America's story in Pakistan? We got to get things right. This is insane. It's completely out of control. And the chairman said, I can't remember the exact figure. I think he said the iHeartRadio has a budget of about 80 or 90 million. This is a nearly $1 billion budget, and we're putting out, in many cases, schlock, something that's unwatchable, and worse yet, that's un-American, pro-CCP, that is supporting our enemies. It's unconscionable that we would do that.
I would agree with that, and so would my district. And moving on, have you encountered any situations where VOA or its grantees have promoted or reported anti-American sentiment? And I think you just touched on that briefly.
And I'm happy to pull more. If you don't mind, I'd be happy to pull more examples of that, and we can submit it to you later.
Okay, and just in looking at it from a different perspective, are you aware of any cases where VOA or its grantees have promoted propaganda from an adversarial nation?
Yes, and I think I made that clear today. We have CCP influence, where literally folks over at the Chinese embassy are telling the folks at VOA how to cover China. That's one example.
Those are very concerning. Thank you very much for your response, and I yield back.
Chair now recognizes Representative Sheen.
Ms. Lake, over and over and over again, Russian propagandists tell us you can't trust the VOA. They're a phony.